Hey gang, it's Seth. Happy Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. I'm going to do a video that's going to be a little bit more, how would I say this, aggressive. I don't want to use the term emotional because it's not emotion. It's just I'm not going to be, I'm a little bit upset and I'm not going to parse my words as I normally do, even though I'm kind of already doing it. For those of you that do not know, over this past weekend, I turned 36, not important. But the important thing was in Poland, as you can kind of see over my shoulder here, there was a Poland independence rally, which is essentially their 4th of July like we have. For those of you that don't know, and I'm not going to go into a long list, historically Poland has gone from everything from a potential European superpower to being taken over and oppressed and made a satellite or proxy of Russia, conquered by Germany, split up, and then eventually at one point there was no country of Poland. They have a long history of oppression, and that stems from the unfortunate reality that in the people don't understand that history is like a child. This world is like a child and it's growing up. And at that point, during the first colonial, well, I should not say first, going from the colonial time and back to when it was just tribal and feudal, medieval, they were caught in between Germany and Russia. That's not a good place to be. And as I was explaining to my sister today, the unfortunate reality of it is when you're caught between those two superpowers, one of two things is going to happen. You're going to side with Russia and either be forced to attack Germany, or Germany will attack you because they know you're not going to ally with them, or flip that scenario and Russia will attack you because you're siding with Germany, and it's just a very bad place to be, historically. So, it's... The other thing I want to say is a lot of people in America do not understand history of oppression, of wartime conquest, as in being conquered, suppression, and things like that. Some immigrants may, but the fact of it is America has never been conquered. We've never been subjugated. We've never, been militarily suppressed. So we don't understand how that kind of history can influence someone. So, Poland's independence is a big thing. Well, first thing I want to do is give a shout out. I put it on this shirt specifically for this video. We got my Polish eagle over here. I gotta let my daughters in a little bit. So, let's fast forward to the last couple days. If you don't know, if you don't pay attention to the media, you're smart, and props to you. The issue with that is, I enjoy paying attention to mainstream mass media because it gives me information that I understand I need to research further from a non-biased, non-globalist, non-liberal point of view. Meaning I see thousands of white supremacists and Nazis gather in Poland. I immediately know, first of all, based on my Polish heritage, that it's bullshit. I've never been, of all the things, and I'll say this in a moment, well, I've never been so thoroughly disgusted at the media, and maybe I should be, maybe I should say I should not be now, but the point is, I have never seen such a disgusting portrayal of something that is more personal to me than anything. My family is from Poland. They came here through New York and came to settle in a small town called Hamtramck in Michigan, grew to be a city, was very predominantly Polish for many, 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 many years. And so to see something like this it is, in a way, ironic, somewhat funny, and it would be funny if it wasn't so disgusting and awful. Now, if you watch me, you know my beliefs on liberalism in the media and the way they push their agenda. So let's go into this. So as you can see, I googled Poland independence rally. Okay, and you see a couple things come up. This is surprisingly, this is the one positive thing I've seen. Beautiful sight. Polish government defends, but even nationalist march on Independence Day. Okay, defends it from what? Why at any point should a country have to defend celebrating independence? Maybe if they went out and massacred a bunch of people or had pogroms, or went out and just decided to burn down half of a city, I could imagine. But at what point should a 100% nonviolent, non-aggressive protest, formally sanctioned by the government? I mean, they didn't illegally form and protest or anything like that. They went out there, did everything by the book. What should they have to defend anyone to? Anything about that to? Why and how? They shouldn't. It's disgusting the way the media does this. Right under that, Poland and uncontrollable fury of Europe's far right. Now, I'm going to go through some things that I pulled up. These are some of the pictures that you see. What you don't see or will not see is anyone getting beat up, assaulted. You see, and now one of the things I see, I'll have to adjust this picture for a moment, so bear with me. Actually, maybe I'll shrink myself down. Yeah, let's do it. Sorry again, I know a couple of you are here, like, just wanting to see me, but you're going to have to deal with it. So, where are you? This flag right here. Some people see this, and I've seen a couple pictures where the where are we? Where the swastika here, the hammer and sickle thing, the communist symbol, is edited out. So you would just see this part with the Polish flag next to the swastika. That is because they want you to think it has something to do with. They want you to ignore the big red line through it. That means anti, no, bad. We hate this. Okay, but you'll see some pictures like this that talk about how wonderful Nazis are. Poland hates fascists, Poland hates communists, and Poland hates Nazis. I'll get more into that in a moment. But the idea that someone would sit there and I'll show you in a minute. So here you can see Newsweek. This is not like, John's News. So these are big outlets, okay? Some of these. Some are smaller, and we'll see as we go through. Poland's nationalist rally with neo-Nazi slogans calls for these things, okay? Poland, this is the thing, Poland defends far-right protests that called for a white Europe, okay? You can see some of the marches. They had a series of, large flares that was, especially as they went in through the night. Here we go, so you can see the flares. Poland and the uncontrollable fury of the far right. Wall Street Journal. Where did you just go? I hate this site. There we go. Polish nationalist youth. This, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe when I was looking around, they had a subject line similar to the other ones that they went through and rectified. Now I can't see this whole video, unfortunately, because I will not subscribe to this. Even if it was free, as you can see, I could pay for it. I won't do that. I'm sure I could find it online somewhere. I'm not that super worried about it. I read a couple people and listened to a couple people talking about this article specifically. Washington Post. How Poland became a breeding ground for Europe's far right. Okay. And there you can see one of the epicenters of the march. Beautiful thing. If you all have not been to something like this, I suggest you do it. I was in the Marine Corps, as I mentioned once or twice. So we had a couple small, whether it's a unit, a battalion, but even like when the commandant of the Marine Corps, at one point the president came and you get all these Marines and there's all these things going on. And when you have a group of people united in solidarity to something that they believe that is emotional, important, it can invoke this amazing feeling of pride and solidarity. It can bring people to tears sometimes, and it's so beautiful. So if you ever get a chance, I had my sister watch a video of this, and it's just, and in watching it, it's like, God, that's so beautiful. They're not out there beating people up. They're not out there hating people. And we'll get more into that in a moment. Again, I'm sorry I keep going on, but I want to say this is another one. I don't know what this organization is, but this is the piece. I know Al Jazeera had a big piece on this, but Al Jazeera is just a Islamist apologist media organization like the Young Turds, so don't worry about them. Okay, I'm going to leave this last window here for a moment. So now let's roll this all back. You can see the news is this. Now, What they will not report is that by their own measure, they had a 500 person, 500, that's five fingers, picture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're each 100, okay? 500 out of what they report is 60,000 people marching. Now, keep that in mind. I've heard reports that it was well over 60,000 people. One of the largest marches in Poland, if not Europe's history, which is amazing and beautiful, and I'm so proud of that. So you have 500 people of this group who had their own separate march, who were even confrontational towards people outside of their group, and who were what they are reporting on. So now the equivalent is, which is ironic, okay? You have one Muslim in 100 that will kill people. You have Black Lives Matter. You have one small part of the march that will say, you know, pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. But what will the media tell you? We cannot say all of these people are embodied by this X percent, 1%, half a percent. They're more than willing to do that for someone when it fits their agenda, however. So what I'm going to do right here is pull up a calculator. Can you see it? Oh, no, you cannot see it. Let's see if I can do this online. No, I'm just going to do it. So you have, we'll say 60,000 people, okay, divided by, so you have less than 1% of the people at this march embodied what the news outlets are reporting as hateful, anti-Jew, pro-Nazi. It is so infuriating and disgusting and appalling that I can't help but take it as a slap in the face as a Polish person. I wouldn't want this done unto anyone. Now, it's not simply the misrepresentation, blatant, knowingly, because they are not stupid. They know what they're doing, the media. These aren't 8-year-olds doing some news. These are adults doing this, okay? They are deliberately trying to misportray Poland as some racist hate capital, white supremacist, right-wing Nazi sympathizers, or just straight-up Nazis. Now, for those of you that don't know, and as you can see right here, I just happened to leave this up, 90% of Polish Jews died in the Holocaust. So why are Poland's nationalists chanting, get the Jews out of power? Here's why. They're not, you fucking moron. If you knew the animosity that I'm not from Poland, as in I wasn't born there. I didn't come here from there. My parents weren't born there. My grandparents are from Poland. If you could, it's difficult for me to even put into words how there's very few things that trigger me, okay? If someone called me a Nazi to my face, now let me back this up. If someone knew I'm Polish, knew I'm proud of my Polish heritage, knew I have my children, I'm not a hateful, spiteful person. I don't hate minorities. I don't hate foreigners. I don't hate people outside of my ideology. I would argue I have very little to no hate in my heart. And if I do have hate, it's for individuals who are willing to do things to incur that hate. Not just random assignments of hate him, no. But if someone called me a Nazi in my face, that's one of the times I probably... You could talk about my mother. You could say, I hate your kids. You could say, something is... This is awful, but if someone's like, oh, I hope your kids get taken away or something like that, I'd be like, yeah, well, fuck off, okay? If you called me a Nazi in my face, knowing that I'd probably punch you in your fucking face, to think that someone like me would have sympathy for someone who massacred my fucking people, massacred people across Europe, essentially, that would be like saying... A woman who got raped, not a child, not someone who can be manipulated, a knowing, mentally capable woman gets raped, violated, and then you saying, well, you loved it, and you love that guy, and just, I can't, like I say, I don't even know if that makes sense or puts into words how I can do it. Now, so again, you had, Tommy Robinson, so you can find, if you will look outside of mainstream media, countless clips of families, children, the proud moments, hundreds of people, thousands of people at points, marching, smiling, happy, not talking about these things. And then you have the media, the fucking piece of shit, scumbag fucking media, who will take that and distort that for their agenda is a slap in the face to someone like me in this specific instance. And The one thing they don't talk about here, and this is the most important thing. Now, I want to get this translated, and let me see if it has it right here. Yeah, this, I don't understand this, but anyway, this gentleman that you see here, he is a Polish survivor of concentration camps who fought the Germans, who fought the Nazis. So you have this guy at this rally speaking against Nazism, explaining what he went through to a country proud of their independence, and then the fucking media, you won't hear about this guy here who was at that place. Do you think if this was a pro-Nazi racist march celebrating the thousands, millions of people who died in concentration camps, this guy would be here promoting this rally, speaking in front of these people, pouring his heart out there? Unfucking believable. I haven't been this upset in a long time, and it kind of feels nice just to get this out, because in doing this, I found myself getting more and more upset at the media portrayal of this. This is the culmination of fake news to someone like me. It is disgusting. I don't know what I'm going to do in regards to this, aside from maybe this video, but I think this is important to get out there. This is a prime example of the abortion of what the fuck news has become today. I just had a talk with my sister and two of her roommates about how the media is supposed to not tell me what they want to push their agenda. They are supposed to give me the information I need to make informed decisions. And in essence, the core of the United States American press is to act as a buffer between me and the elected officials that we have, meaning we voted on them to do this. They're not supposed to say, well, we liked this guy, so we're going to say he did a good thing here, or we don't want this person, so we're going to report negatively on him. No, they're supposed to say, you voted for this guy, this is what he did, this is what he promised to deliver, this is what he did deliver, this is what he did not, so on and so forth. And for me to make an informed decision. It's disgusting, it's a travesty, and I've never been so disgusted at the media as a whole as I have been today. I want to go through and read that RT article, which apparently seemed to be, at least headline-wise, I don't believe headlines. Again, I read. So I want to go and read what that article says, but don't drink the Kool-Aid, please. A Polish Nazi is a contradiction to the likes of which I don't know how many of you can understand, or again, I'm disappointed at my inability to get out of my emotional state and put this into words that make sense to you. So I hope you can take a moment and do that for yourself. If someone is, so for example, if someone comes into my house and says, I'm going to kill you if you don't do this, sometimes I can understand doing it. You know what I'm saying? When survival is at stake, when people's lives are at stake, you may do something that is detestable. But to assume these people out there celebrating Nazism, celebrating the Nazi culture in a country where, in the uprising in Warsaw towards the end of World War II, I'm not sure about the figures, but from what I remember, over 250,000 Poles, I should say, died coming into an uprising and saying, essentially, saying we're not going to. They lost. They got crushed. The hopes at the time was that when the Russians saw this uprising, they would come and help them, and they didn't. So in essence, they attempted to rise up and were massacred. And then to sit there and read garbage like this from fucking Newsweek is some of the most disgusting garbage I've heard. I keep saying that, and I'm going to end it here because I think I'm getting redundant. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, a better day than I'm having. Not that this ruins my day, and I feel a lot better having gotten this out. So thank you all, especially if you made it this far. If you didn't make it this far, do me a favor. Just give me a you're welcome below. I would really appreciate that. But if you are here, thank you for, I say a lot of times I try to shout out to you guys, and I appreciate all of you. And or I think I differ from a lot of people is when I go through these things, I feel like I'm taking journeys with you, which is the main reason I beg for you guys to engage with me, whether it's by comments, direct messages, twits, live streams, and collaboration videos. Thank you for doing this with me, because I hope something I say makes some sense to you guys, and it's not just some guy here prattling on about, inane nonsense. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and go easy, gang.